Yeah. What's good? This is your boy Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on another dose of Chalk It Up Sports, a double header, a special edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge into the game. Some of you guys probably saw me earlier today. We were live earlier. We went live around 3:30, 3:35 p.m. Eastern, well, Central Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I want to kick it with you guys again for another late night edition of Chalk It Up Sports. We ain't gonna be live long. We're not gonna be live all night. We're gonna be live for about a half an hour, maybe close to an hour. It all depends on how the vibes go. But I wanted to tap in with you guys once again. Some news came across the Philadelphia Eagles wire, right? Some pretty important news. But I want you guys to smash that like button. I want you guys to stay subscribed and also become subscribed to the channel, especially if you're new to the show, right? Can't take the views, can't take the support and the amount of love you guys provide for granted. That's one thing I could never do. You guys are always showing me the utmost respect, the utmost love, and I gotta give credit where credit is due. On top of that, I got to acknowledge that earlier we did our first round of giveaways. I'm giving away a ton of Philadelphia Eagles merchandise all throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, throughout the regular season, throughout the playoffs. I'm going to be giving out a ton of Eagles merchandise all year round, all throughout the season. And I want you guys to be on the right side of history. I want you guys to be able to take advantage of some of the stuff that we got here. Like I said, we got beanies, got hats, we got lanyards, man. You know, we're getting it popping here at Chalk It Up Sports. So I want you guys to be on the right side of history. Just to give those guys a quick shout out, my first two winners of the giveaway from earlier was Jameer Adams from Connecticut and Mark Johnson from California. So I want to give a special shout out to my guys, Jameer Adams out of Connecticut and Mark Johnson out of California. Those two gentlemen were the first to lock down their giveaways from yours truly. And we're going to be doing this all through our training camp, preseason, regular season, and the playoffs. No one's going to miss out on an opportunity. All you have to do is continue to smash that like button, stay subscribed to the show. Make sure you guys lock in whenever I go live. And the best way to do that is by making sure that notification bell is locked and loaded. Hit that notification bell on the channel homepage. You'll be able to get every notification, every update as to when I will go live. And you want to make sure you're in the live stream so you can hear how you can be the next person to lock down some giveaways from Chalk It Up Sports. Let's move on. Again, smash that like button and make sure you guys are subscribed. Whether you're new or old, I appreciate all the love and I appreciate all the support. Now let's get right into it. Now, apparently, unfortunately, rather, Cooper DeJean suffered an off-season injury that's going to have him limited or out over the next 3 weeks or so. I want to dig deep into this article by way of my man, my main man, someone I consider a friend, John McMullen. He posted this article about 2 hours ago. The Philadelphia Eagles drafted Cooper DeJean, by the way, in the second round, 40th overall, and he is likely to miss significant time. Let me not say significant, important or valuable time during the training camp due to a non-football injury. Now, let me read the article to you guys, and we can go through it from there. So it says here, by way of John McMullen, it says Eagles rookie defensive back Cooper DeJean will start training camp on the non-football injury list after suffering a hamstring injury in off-season training, according to a league source. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler was the first to report the injury. DeJean, the 40th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, is expected back in 3 weeks or so. That's the good news. The bad news is that the versatile Iowa product was expected to push for significant playing time as a rookie, and missed time in training camp will not help that cause. The Eagles, though, are attempting to play it cautious with the injury so it doesn't become a nagging issue as hamstrings can be, especially with athletic, speedy players like DeJean. In the spring, Cooper DeJean worked at both outside and slot cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and there's a thought he could play some safety if needed down the line. New secondary coach Christian Parker noted that the Eagles didn't want to take advantage of DeJean's versatility and will find him a positional home. I understand that perspective. The initial thought is that would be the slot to start, where DeJean could push projected starter Avonte Maddox, who has had his own troubling injury issues in recent seasons. And it goes on and on and on. But the bottom line is Cooper DeJean is going to be out for a minimum of 3 weeks because of this injury that he's dealing with. And the reality is that's not something you want to hear as an Eagles fan. That's not something you want to hear uh, entering the first day of training camp. Now, training camp, the first day, they typically go through their physicals and their conditioning exams, and they have their initial tone setting meetings. They don't really do too much grass time, but I'm guessing when the nutritionists and when the trainers looked at Cooper, they discovered some things, and they probably asked him what happened. And according to him, it was sort of a weird, awkward injury. He was kind of grabbed a little awkwardly, or whatever it may be, or he moved a little awkwardly. So he tweaked something. And I respect the Eagles for handling it the way they're handling it. You definitely don't want to go overboard. You don't want to force this kid back, especially being young, and you still have a ton of depth at the position. But he is a player that you're going to miss. He's a player that you want to get on the field as quickly as possible because you want to find out just how good he can be with that versatile skill set. I do understand the Philadelphia Eagles perspective, though, with not wanting to oversaturate his workload with so many varying responsibilities. You want Cooper DeJean to have a positional home, first and foremost. You don't want to just force him to do different things, right? He won't be able to master anything. You want Cooper DeJean to be able to master, be it the slot or master the outside or the safety, whatever you want him to do, you want him to master that first. And then you start to add on responsibility based off how he handles the initial responsibilities given. But now the Philadelphia Eagles had to figure out their game plan going forward, beyond Cooper DeJean. Granted, he's not done for the season. He's not done. He's going to come back. But what's the Philadelphia Eagles game plan here, right? At safety, or just to add to the DB room. Again, Cooper DeJean's versatility meant that he could potentially play some reps at safety, right? But then also you factor in Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown is now going to be, or likely going to start the season on the PUP list. I'm not sure if that's officially been announced, but a lot of people are reporting it. And some sources close to the situation say that Cooper DeJean, or I'm sorry, Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown is likely going to start the season on the PUP list. And I believe that means he misses the first 4 weeks or the first 3 weeks. I don't want to get that wrong, but he misses the first quarter uh of the season. He misses the first quarter of the season due to that ACL injury he suffered towards the end of last season. So that begs the question: what do the Philadelphia Eagles do at safety when they're missing two valuable pieces at the position potentially? Right? Is there a chance that the Philadelphia Eagles may actually go into free agency and try to add more bodies to the room? Right? The rumor all off season has been the Philadelphia Eagles are targeting former All Pro and Pro Bowl safety Justin Simmons. Now, here's the situation about Justin Simmons, right? Justin Simmons, 6'2, 202 pounds. He's going to be likely, he'll be 30 when the season starts, and he'll turn 31 in November. So, being a former third round pick, he's a multi-time Pro Bowler, multi-time second team All Pro. He's perennially been one of the top two or top three safeties in the NFL over the past 5 seasons. That goes without saying. Justin Simmons has regularly made All Pro as a second team All Pro, regularly made the Pro Bowl, and he's coming off of a Pro Bowl season. Justin Simmons also was fairly healthy, only missed 2 games, and he's very active, right? He's a smart player. He has experience. He knows how to he knows how to take the ball away. He knows how to always he knows how to make plays. He's the kind of guy you want, right? But what exactly is as a player of that caliber looking for? Once again, Justin Simmons isn't just some guy that you can just find, right? Or he isn't just some guy that you can just throw nickels at. I'm curious to know what he believes his market is, because he's turned down probably almost every offer he's gotten throughout this entire offseason. I find it hard to believe a guy like that has gotten 0 offers all offseason. So I want to know what he's been offered, what he's been saying no to, what kind of number he's potentially looking for, and should he be a target for the Philadelphia Eagles, given the current situation with Cooper DeJean going down and Sidney Brown starting the season on the PUP list. And again, just to add context, Cooper DeJean was competing for that nickel spot almost immediately, despite his versatility to play safety and outside corner. He was really competing for that nickel spot. So when I bring up Justin Simmons, I'm really thinking about the fact that Sidney Brown's going to be going for the first part of the season, or at least the first quarter of the season being on the PUP list. It's not something you really want to hear or see. My man Chin says, surprised he hasn't taken a 1-year deal. Dylan Canepa says, feels like the first day of school tomorrow. Let's go Birds. I like that. Jamal Harris, he says, Eagles football is back. Yes, sir. Eagles girl, what's going on? Little G Griffith says, I'm a big fan of Eagles 2024 season better. I'm a big fan of the Eagles 24 season better. Eagles better go 14-3. By the way, I'm going to be your uncle. It's a girl. Wow, that's awesome, Little G. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. So, yeah. And is there a chance that Justin Simmons is a target for the Philadelphia Eagles? That begs the question, what kind of money is he looking for, right? Now, just to add context to the situation, Justin Simmons is coming off of a contract where he was making roughly $15 million a season. He signed a 4-year, $61 million contract in 2021, and he played that contract. He played that contract pretty much all the way through. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Broncos decided to cut him. They decided to cut him before the contract reached its final season. And I'm assuming that's when pretty much all the guarantee money was gone. He was looking to re-up. They weren't really trying to do that. And things happened the way they happened. But Justin Simmons is coming off of a season where he was making roughly $15.2 million. And that begs the question, what exactly is he looking for? Is he looking for something similar to, something close? He has to know that being a 30-year-old safety going on 31 mid-season, he has to know that teams are thinking about that and questioning whether or not they should invest that kind of money. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to get, especially at this point in the game, I don't think he's going to get $15 million. I wouldn't be surprised if he's waiting for a team to go through an injury, a la the Philadelphia Eagles, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he's waiting for a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, or like any other team really, to go through a significant injury to the point where they're going to have to bend to his demands. But at this late in the game, when most teams have spent all their money for the most part already, it's slim pickings for him in terms of a team that can actually pay him the number he probably is looking for. So he's going to have to settle for something lesser than what he probably wants. As a matter of fact, let me just go to the safeties who did sign contracts, right? So we can kind of put it in perspective as to what he could potentially get. So let's pull this up right here. Okay, so these are the recent safety contracts that were signed during this current off season. So let me get this thing up here. All right. So let's zoom in, get a better view. Okay. So sorry about these ads, you guys. All right. Xavier McKinney at 24 years old signed a 4-year deal worth $67 million with a 16.7 annual salary. CJ Gardner-Johnson, $27 million deal, 3 years, with an average salary of $9 million. That's a large disparity between Xavier McKinney's contract and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That's a large disparity. Darnell Savage, 3-year deal, making 7.2 million a season, and he's 26. So just pay attention, right? Xavier McKinney, 24 going on 25. Average salary, 16.7 million. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson signs to the Eagles. He's 26 years old. Average annual salary, $9 million. Darnell Savage, going on 27 years old, signs with Jacksonville with an average salary of 7.25 million. Brandon Jones, 26-year-old safety, signs with Denver with an average salary of $6.6 million. So this is interesting right here because Brandon Jones, formerly of Miami, signs to the Denver Broncos at 26 years old on a 3-year deal worth $20 million with a $6.66 million with a 6.6 average annual salary. So the Broncos felt the need to not only downgrade from Justin Simmons, but they also were able to get a player that was significantly cheaper than what they were already paying Justin Simmons. And he's younger, less tread on the tires, or more tread on the tires, and probably has some upside. But this just goes to show you what the Broncos were thinking when it comes to Justin Simmons. And it falls in line with what other teams are thinking. Let's go on. Geno Stone signs a contract with the Bengals. Average annual salary, $7 million. He's 25 years old. Kevin Byard, 30 years old, going on 31, signs a 2-year deal with the Bears with an average annual salary of 7.5 million. So again, if you look at these numbers, look at the disparity between Xavier McKinney and everybody else. I have a strong feeling Justin Simmons' future contract will likely be closer to what a Kevin Byard was able to pull, or even a Rashawn Jenkins. You got to look at the guys that are in his age bracket, right? Kevin Byard, 30 years old, 7.5 million average annual salary. Rashawn Jenkins, 30 years old, average annual salary of $6 million. You know what I'm saying? Miles Killebrew signed a 2-year deal with the Steelers, average annual salary of 3.25 million. So again, if Justin Simmons is looking for a deal, it's going to be somewhere around here. And he's more accomplished than Darnell Savage, Geno Stone, Brandon Jones, Rashawn Jenkins, and they're younger, but he's more accomplished than most of those guys. Kevin Byard, I think his career is on par with their accomplishments. So there's a chance that Justin Simmons is looking at a contract that's flirting between 5 and 7 million. Do the Philadelphia Eagles think this is a situation where they can or should probably look to pay that 5 to 7 million? Now that begs the question: how much money do the Eagles have left? Let's find that out. So as of right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are ranked 8th in the NFL in terms of available cap space. They have a grand total of $24.64 million left in cap space. So they could definitely afford to pay Justin Simmons. But I think Justin Simmons is looking for a multi-year deal. And I think that's where he's probably losing teams. They're probably looking at it like, okay, if we give you a multi-year deal, we're coming down significantly on that annual salary. And that's probably where he's not budging on. He's probably getting the salary he wants in the first year, but he wants more long-term security. So when you start to go in 2-year, 3-year territory, which is probably something he's looking for, then 9 times out of 10, these teams are going to say, all right, you want more longevity in the deal? Okay, we want some breathing room on that AAV. We want some breathing room on that salary. So I just think at this point in the game, like my man Chen A said, he's not going to get a multi-year deal at this point in the game. Teams have likely spent the money that they want to spend. And if you're looking at some of these teams that got the money, they're not really looking for a safety right now, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Arizona has the money, but they're not looking for a safety. San Fran has the money. They're not looking for a safety. Green Bay has the money. They're not looking for a safety. Detroit, I don't think they're looking for a safety right now. New England, I don't think they're looking for a safety. Maybe Washington or Las Vegas, but I feel like those teams probably would have pulled the trigger on him already. So here we go again. There's a handful of teams that can actually afford it, but do they want to? Especially if he's looking for a multi-year deal. That's the that's the question right there. And I think at this point in the game, he's not getting a multi-year deal. So what's the Philadelphia Eagles plan here, right? Sidney Brown being on the pup list. What is that? And with Cooper DeJean being out for the next 3 weeks or so, where does that leave you in your DB room here, right? In particular, as it pertains to your options at safety. Obviously, you have CJ Gardner-Johnson, and you have and he's going to be your starter. But then beyond that, you look at Reed Blankenship. Okay, the Eagles did give him another year on his current deal, giving him some more money up front, giving him a little bit more security. They like him, but at the same time, you ask yourself, what's Reed Blankenship's ceiling? Has he maxed out his potential already? Can he really get better? Can he get more athletic? That's something you ask yourself. I'm not sure if that's even a possibility, but we'll see how it turns out. So CJ Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown's on the pup list. You got Mekhi Gardner, who you moved to free safety. Okay, Mekhi Gardner, this is your opportunity here to step up and show that you belong on the football field, right? Tristan McCullum, Andre Sam. You have some bodies here that we don't really think too highly of. Andre Sam and Tristan McCullum in particular, but Mekhi Gardner, what can you do, right? The Eagles are light at safety. That's just the reality. But you also have Avonte Maddox, a versatile nickel corner who can play safety, so that does give you some flexibility. But at this point, Avonte Maddox is in pole position to lock down that nickel spot, especially if Cooper DeJean loses crucial time on the grass in training camp. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, Avonte Maddox wins the nickel corner spot. Okay, you got CJ Gardner-Johnson in one of your safety positions. What are you doing with Reed Blankenship? Are you going to put Reed Blankenship at free safety? Do you trust him enough at this point in the game? Do you want to add more depth? Because as of right now, you don't really have reliable depth beyond CJ Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship. Mekhi Gardner. So do they make a move? Should they not pinch pennies and be honest and say, you know what, maybe we do need a safety. Maybe we do need to bring in a guy like Justin Simmons so he can add some experience to that backfield. A backfield with CJ Gardner-Johnson and Justin Simmons would be insane. And Forest Hill, I'm so glad you brought that up. Eddie Jackson actually did get signed today. I believe who did Eddie Jackson sign with? I believe Eddie Jackson, he signed with who was it? He signed with the Ravens. That's who it was. Eddie Jackson signed with the Ravens, I believe, on a 1-year deal. So I think the Philadelphia Eagles don't need the Eagles should not overthink this thing. I think they need more depth at safety. And ironically enough, some of the best safeties on the market are guys that are kind of long in the tooth. Justin Simmons, 30 years old. Quandre Diggs, 31. Micah Hyde, 33. Tracy Walker, 29. Jaron Kearse, 30 years old. Adrian Phillips, 32 years old. Tayshaun Gibson, 33, going on 34. Kareem Jackson, 36. Cody Davis, 35. Keanu Neal, going on 29 years old. You know, there are bodies at safety, but do you want to spend the money? So I think the Eagles, I think they should bring in another safety. I think they should. You want to make sure you got enough bodies at the position, and you also want to make sure that you have somebody back there that's very much capable of doing the job to the best of his of his ability. So to your point, I definitely respect the Ravens for pulling the trigger and bringing in A. Jackson. I definitely respect it. I wonder what made them skip over Justin Simmons. If you ask me, I think the Ravens would have loved to sign Justin Simmons. I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Simmons was the first call. But the reality is, what is Justin Simmons looking for? What kind of contract is Justin Simmons really looking for? And I'm not the only one who thinks the Philadelphia Eagles need to make the play for Justin Simmons. I mean, Patrick McAvoy, writer for um SI.com covering the Philadelphia Eagles, he's someone who believes the Eagles should sign ex-Bronco superstar, soon before somebody else does. And I definitely respect that mindset. He's there, he's talented, he has the pedigree. If he comes in the building, he immediately demands and earns the respect of his teammates. Simmons, he's been named to the All-Pro 4 times. He's made the Pro Bowl 2 times, including in 2023. The Eagles have made moves to improve their secondary, but you can't get any a guy like Justin Simmons, he helps you today. He helps you today. And if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, you want to make sure you have the right guys in the building, guys that can actually get the job done, guys that are healthy. You got to make the move now. What if this is the Eagles' perspective, right? What if they're looking at it from the perspective of let's be patient, let's not panic. Yes, Cindy Brown is entering is going to be on the PUP list. Yes, Cooper DeJean is on the non-football injury list for the next 3 weeks or so. Yes, you lost 2 crucial DBs to your long-term plan, but could they be saying to themselves, "We're not going to panic. We're going to let this thing play out, and the guy that we're thinking about or the guy that we may want, if we so choose, he's going to be there." The Eagles are masters at being patient. They're masters at making the right move at the right time. This is what they do here. So we don't need to necessarily overreact, but at the same time, I don't think they want to. I don't think they should sit on their hands too long, because Justin Simmons is going to get picked up somewhere. Someone's going to get desperate. Someone's going to go through or experience a catastrophic injury, and you want to make sure that you have a chance to get this guy. All right, you guys, make sure you continue to smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. I really do appreciate the love and the support. This is a late night live stream here at Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm always grateful for you guys. Make sure you guys stay locked in. We're going to be live for a few more minutes before we get out of here. My man Chin says, give him a 1-year, $12 million deal. Woo! 1 year, 12? Chin, were you listening? Were you listening, Chin? Let me Let me just give you an idea of what guys in his position, because you can't just throw money around, right? You got to look at the market first. You got to look at the market and see how it panned out. So I'll bring it up on screen again so we can make sure that we got this thing down pat. Okay? To give him a 1-year deal worth $12 million would be malpractice. And here's why. Forrest Hill says CJGJ got $33 million for 3 years. I'm glad y'all said that. Just listen. So this is what CJGJ really got. You got to be mindful of what you read. This is what he really got. Okay? Let me zoom out. Let's kind of make it hard to see. All right, there we go. Look at this. This is what he really got, okay? CJ Gardner-Johnson signed a 3-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles worth $27 million with an average annual salary of $9 million with $10 million in total guarantees. So there's probably $6 additional million in incentives, but this is what he really got. So CJGJ, on paper, at face value, he got an average annual salary of $9 million, a total value of $27 million. I could click on the contract to get a little bit more insight, but CJGJ, all right, here we go. Yep. Signed a 3-year deal. Because remember, when CJGJ signed, the details of his contract weren't initially released. We just knew what the agent put out there. But the reality is, CJGJ signed a 3-year, $27 million deal with an average salary of $9 million with only $10 million in guarantees. See? But again, Justin Simmons, and I don't want to get lost, right? I think my man Chin had said that we should give him a 1-year deal worth $12 million, right? Here's the problem with that. You gave CJGJ, the Eagles gave CJGJ $9 million a season, a $9 million salary, right? The Bears gave Kevin Byard a $7.5 million salary. The Jaguars gave Darnell Savage a $7.25 million salary. Geno Stone got a $7 million salary. Brandon Jones got a $6.6 million salary. Rashawn Jenkins. I'm going with this, right? Justin Simmons is likely to get a number close to this area before he gets a number closer to Xavier McKinney, right? There's a clear disconnect between how these organizations view DBs. Xavier McKinney is under the age of 25, but according to these contracts, if you're 25 or older, you're or 26 or older, yes, your bargaining power or your bargaining chips are not in your favor. So I think, and again, Kevin Byard is just as accomplished as Justin Simmons, if not more. That's something we got. That's something we gotta keep in mind here. Kevin Byard is just as accomplished as Justin Simmons, if not more. And Kevin Byard was only able to get a 2-year deal from the Bears with the $7.5 million salary. Darnell Savage, he's younger than Justin Simmons. Only was able to get a salary of $7.25 million. Geno Stone, younger than Justin Simmons. Average salary, $7 million. You know, these teams are stingy when it comes to safety money. These teams are stingy. And remind you, like I said, Justin Simmons is coming off of a season where he was making roughly $15 million already. And the Broncos didn't want to give him that, despite him coming off of a Pro Bowl and second team All Pro season. His mindset is, I'm coming off of a Pro Bowl season, a second team All Pro season, and I'm 30 years old. I don't see why I shouldn't be able to get good money for my job. I understand this perspective. I get it. But I also am paying. I'm also reading the market. I'm reading the market. And the market is dictating that Justin Simmons doesn't get the money he's probably looking for. My man Forrest Hill says, are we suited to make a run, though? Are you kidding me? He says, you don't pay Simmons top dollar unless you feel he could be a missing piece. I understand that perspective, too. I understand perspective. So you basically what you're saying is if the Philadelphia Eagles don't sign a guy like Justin Simmons, they likely don't believe their team is Super Bowl ready. Well, I'll put it to you this way. They don't make the moves they made this offseason and not believe that they're going to compete for a Super Bowl. Don't think Howie Roseman is going to sit on his hands for the rest of this offseason and not make a move. I'm telling you, I think Howie Roseman makes at least 2 more roster moves. He makes at least 2 more moves before the season starts. So we got to, and again, patience is a virtue. Remember, we got CJGJ like a week or 2 before the season started. James Bradbury, same thing. So anything can happen at this point. But I just don't know if Justin Simmons is going to get that money he's probably looking for. And I'm curious to know what the Philadelphia Eagles' plan is, knowing that you lost Cooper DeJean for the next 3 weeks or so, and he's going to lose valuable time in training camp and competing for some starting reps. And Sidney Brown is starting the season on the PUP list. That's something that you obviously don't want, but you want to make sure the kid is healthy as well. So the Philadelphia Eagles are in a pickle right now with their safety room. They're depleted. They don't have quality depth. Mekhi Gardner is a player that recently transitioned to the position. So how much can Mekhi Gardner really contribute at the safety position on a consistent basis? You have Avonte Maddox, who's versatile and could play safety, but with Cooper DeJean being down for the next 3 weeks or so, Avonte Maddox likely will cement himself as the nickel corner. I doubt anybody else could probably knock him off that square with as much experience as he has and how much rapport he has with this organization. I doubt Avonte Maddox loses his spot to anybody else, especially with Cooper DeJean being down, losing valuable training camp and preseason snaps. Beyond that, what Andre Sam, Tristan McCullum, they're dudes. And I'm not taking those guys seriously right now. So as of right now, you can make an argument the Philadelphia Eagles really only have 2.5 safeties. And that half is Mekhi Gardner because he's new to the position. I think Mekhi Gardner was originally a corner in this league and probably transitioned to safety to get some grass time and probably save himself a roster spot, knowing that the cornerback position is crowded with the Philadelphia Eagles. But I just think that I think the Eagles definitely need to look at their safety room and figure out what they need to add, how they want to add it. And that's my perspective. And it's straight like that, you guys. Please, please, please make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are locked in on the content here. MC, what's going on? James Jones, what's going on? He says, how did Cooper DeJean get injured? It's a 3-week hamstring. It happened outside of football. He was training and he tweaked something. So it's precautionary. It's precautionary, and they're trying to just make sure that they're trying to make sure it doesn't become a nagging injury. Now, remind you, this isn't something that Cooper DeJean came into. He didn't come into the offseason or come with the Philadelphia Eagles with that history of hamstring. That's not what he's dealt with in the past. So I'm not stressing myself about the Cooper DeJean injury, but it is annoying knowing that he's dealing with that and he's losing critical time on the grass and training camp, joint practices, preseason. He's losing quality reps that he can definitely use at this point. But I think in the long run he'll be okay, especially if the Eagles are treading lightly. But yeah, Sidney Brown, pup list, Cooper DeJean, non-football injury list. It's not something you want to see, but you want those guys to be ready when the season starts. You want those guys to be in tip-top shape, and you want those guys to be fully and medically cleared. And that's my perspective on that. Hey, you guys, we're going to get out of here. I really do appreciate you guys for hopping in on this very, very impromptu live stream. I know it's late. I know it's a Tuesday night. Some of you guys got to get up early for work in the morning. Some of you guys are probably going in on a late night shift. Maybe some of you guys are already on your late night shift. I appreciate the love. Make sure those kids tucked in. Make sure you got your work clothes already laid out. I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody that got to wake up at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Even those waking up at 6 and 7 in the morning. Those people that are blessed. I appreciate you guys for always liking on the content. You guys are spectacular. You guys are truly one of one. And the show, and I repeat, the show cannot go on without you guys. And by the way, before I get out of here, I just want to remind you guys that I am going to be giving out merchandise all throughout training camp, all throughout preseason, all throughout the regular season. I have so much stuff here to give away, all legit Eagles gear that we're giving away, man. Beanies, hats. Sorry about that sound. And then we got the Kelly Green Eagles cap. We're giving away a lot of stuff here to get you guys ready for the NFL season. So I want to make sure you guys are on the right side of things. We're giving all this stuff away. So far, I've already locked in 2 people to receive giveaways. Shout out to the good fellas. Where are they? There they are. Shout out to Jameer Adams and Mark Johnson for being my first giveaway winners. They're going to receive their items in the mail. And I'm going to make sure those guys are fully abreast as to every step of the process when it comes to making sure they get their merchandise. The last thing I want to do is make people lose trust in the product. You guys are going to get your merchandise, Jameer Adams and Mark Johnson. You and I will be corresponding via email regularly to make sure you guys know that you guys are fully locked in on every step of the process. When I'm at the post office, You guys are going to get the tracking information. You guys are going to be able to track this thing. You guys are getting a mystery gift from me, Tone DeShields II and Chalk It Up Sports. And I'm so grateful for you guys. The way I see it, as much as you guys pour into me and show love to me, I got to make sure I give the love back. So again, if you guys want to be potentially winners of my giveaways throughout the training camp, preseason, regular season, playoffs, if you guys want to be on the right side of history, make sure you guys stay tuned into the live streams. Make sure you guys are all locked in. Okay. Make sure you guys are liking to the live streams, hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is hit. That's the only way you guys are going to know when I go live. You guys want to make sure you guys want to make sure you're tuned in so you could potentially be a winner. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to win. So make sure you guys lock in. And it's straight like that, you guys. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys were locked in on this late night edition, this special edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the gang.